So the very first thing you'll need to do is find one of these totems. If you see a Megaraptor in the wild, give a look around. It should have a totem somewhere in the area. You need to go up to it and activate it by pressing E, or the normal interact button on controller. You must have a torch equipped, otherwise the prompt will not show up. If the Megaraptor is aggroed to another creature, it'll tell you that it's hunting. Once you activate, you will enter into a minigame where you will have limited visibility. You're locked into this totem. You cannot move forward or backwards, but you can move circularly around them. However, you can also exit with E at any time. During this minigame, you will have to hit the Megaraptor before he hits you. He pops out approximately every 10 seconds from this dark cloud. That's not exact. It varies because, well, it's supposed to be a surprise. If you're facing forward, though, he will either come from the left or the right, and there is a slight audio cue beforehand. You will attempt to hit him with your torch before he attacks you. Each successful hit is shown by stars around his head, and each hit increases torpidity as well. Once the meter is full, it takes you out of the minigame, and the Megaraptor drops to the ground like a normal KO tame. It takes exceptional kibble to tame it, or like most carnivores, regular meat, prime meat, or mutton if you don't have kibble. The most important thing to know is that a better torch does indeed improve torpidity, but increased melee damage does not. To test this, I tested on a level 50 Megaraptor. With my melee at 100%, I used a standard 100% damage torch, a 200% damage, and a 300% damage, approximately, torch to compare. With the 100% damage torch, it took 26 hits on the Megaraptor, level 50, to down him. The 200 torch took it down in 17 hits, and the 296 torch did it in 12 hits. Then I boosted my melee to 300% and I retested with the standard 100% torch. It also took 26 hits, so proof that the melee does not affect it, but the torch does. To take down a level 150 with a 100% torch, you will need approximately 80 hits. This took about 6 torches and 15 minutes. With a 300% torch, you can expect about 33 hits to down a 150. I did this with a 227 durability torch, and I lost a little less than half of 1 torch, and it took approximately 6 minutes. The taming multiplier does not affect torpor. So as of now, it seems the only way to speed up the knockout is to have a better torch. While editing this, the Dododex app did update, so you can now estimate how many hits with a primitive torch. You just need to change the interval to 10 seconds, but I couldn't seem to change the torch percentage. Hopefully that gets added in the future, but for now, these examples should give you an idea of how many hits with those better torches. And also, it's not linear, so a 200% torch isn't just going to give you twice as much torpor as a 100%. There's other things to factor in, so it won't work exactly like that. Besides the torpidity increase, a better torch obviously also has better durability, which means you'll need fewer of them. The primitive will break very quickly, so you'll always want to bring extra torches with you, regardless of if you're using a primitive or a higher tier. Torches are so cheap that there's no reason really not to be extra prepared. So always have those extra torches no matter what. If the Megaraptor is hunting and you cannot initiate, you can either clear the area or just keep spamming E to activate. You will find that there will be small gaps that it will work even when it looks like it's hunting, so keep giving it a try if you don't want to go around clearing the area. Just be careful not to over spam. Once you initiate, if you're still spamming E, you can exit too quickly, and then he'll be right there on top of you. However, you will want to clear the area of anything hostile. Other dinos can attack you while you're in this minigame and disrupt the process. The Megaraptor will not attack other dinos, so non-hostiles are fine. You can get kicked out of the minigame. It feels like sometimes if you get hit too hard, he can knock you out of it, but it's potentially just a thing that Ark does, being buggy and all. Or if you pull out another weapon, it will disengage you. Either way, if you get disengaged, you can reactivate it, but there will be a 30-second cooldown in which the Megaraptor will be free to shred you. So either run, have a flyer to get up in the air, or have some armor and a shield while you wait it out to reinitiate the process. You can activate the altar while he is attacking you. So if you make a run for it, activate it, it will pull him away and put you into that minigame, in which case you'd have a second to heal before he attacks again. So it can be a way to escape if you are running away from one. Once the minigame starts, you won't take any damage from him unless he hits you. So as long as you hit him first, Again, you won't take damage, so it can be a way to escape or buy time to heal up quickly. A primitive flak set of armor is all you really need to do this comfortably, but you can do this naked too. As long as you hit him first, like I said, he won't do any damage to you. However, this is not recommended, but if you are one of those players that just wants it as your first tame, you definitely could do that. To take down a 150 with a base 100 health character and primitive flak armor, you can tank about 4 hits. Against a level 50, you can tank about 8 hits. And if you do die, you can return and reinitiate the process. The torpor won't reset, but it will continue to drop at its normal rate. So if you have a sleeping bag set up nearby, you can quickly jump back in without losing too much of that taming progress. You cannot spam swing the torch either during this minigame, so if you miss, he will hit you. Timing is important. A method I found a little bit easier is to run backwards by holding A or D. He always spawns behind you when you do this, so when you get that audio cue, you only have to swing. You still need a good reaction time, but this way you don't have to worry about missing, as long as you swing on time. And I found it does help to turn to the left a little bit each time to make that connection a little better, but it's always left, never have to turn right. You can use the r.volumetric fog command to reduce the fog if that's something that you feel helps visually while you're in this mini. Alright, so to kind of sum up all this into a strategy, this is what I recommend for taming those higher level Megaraptors. I play a lot of official, so the idea of using a trap is not really viable because you'll usually find pillars nearby and you can't really place a trap. So I didn't even test trap methods, but I do have something that I think will help. You'll want the obvious as best of a torch as you can get your hands on, but don't hesitate to use a 150 or 200 if you can't get a max. It's still going to help a lot. Just make sure to bring as many as you can because of course they're cheap. If you have better armor, use it, but you can get away with doing this with primitive flak. I recommend bringing a shield as well, preferably a riot shield, or you're going to need multiple if you're just using the regular metal ones. A shotgun, primitive one is fine, and potentially a good dino to help clear the area beforehand. In a perfect scenario, you could just clear the area and not have to worry about something attacking you while taming it. But Ark is never a perfect scenario. So I suggest at least attempting to clear the area of all the hostile dinos. I wouldn't bother with non-hostiles for 2 reasons. You can still get it to initiate in between its aggros, so it's not a big deal if it goes off attacking a non-hostile creature, and having these non-hostiles around will prevent new hostiles from spawning in. Once you've removed the hostiles nearby, go up to the totem and spam E. As I've mentioned, you'll find these pockets in between aggros if he is off hunting. If it's not working or if it's taking too long, you can either go clear those non-hostiles just to make sure there's nothing around, or you can try to get it to aggro to you. If it aggros to you, you can just run to that totem and initiate it. He's not in hunt mode when he's hunting you, so as soon as you get there, it'll start the process and take him away from you for a second or two to heal. Then you'll go on as normal using this backwards run. This one is just personal preference. I find it a lot easier. Just give yourself a slight turn and whack him every time it shows up. It's the same direction as soon as you hear that audio cue. Now when you get disengaged, this is why you brought a shield. Whether it's another dino coming at you or it just bugs you out of it, having your shield will allow you to tank those hits. Finish off any hostiles with your shotgun, then put up your shield and tank the hits. It takes 30 seconds to reset the altar, so with a shield, you can just stand there and keep the aggro on you. That way, you don't have to worry about it running off and disappearing or dying or Ark being Ark. Then, when it's back up, you can initiate while it's attacking you. It instantly goes away, so again, you have that free second to heal if you have taken on a lot of damage. And remember, it only does damage to you if you miss it. So as long as you get into this mode, you should have time to heal up. Then if you can get that first hit off, you can continue to heal without taking any more damage. The other thing you'll want to do is have a sleeping bag nearby, because if you do die, you can continue the taming process. You just need to go right back to the altar. The torpidity does not reset. It will continue to drop at its normal rate, so you will still have time to keep going on the taming if you ever get disengaged, either from a bug, either from another creature, or either from dying. The controls for these are shown on the side screen, FYI. The claw swipe is the main attack. It's left click to use it. It has a 0.6 second use interval, which gives it a very fast attack speed, and it has a base damage of 25. For comparison, a Rex has a base damage of 62. However, when it's away from other Megaraptors, it has a 60% increase, which brings it up to a 40 base damage. And when hunting dinos who are away from other dinos, the damage is doubled, giving it a base damage of 80. The 60% increase for Solitary Hunter is based on the Ark Wiki, but in my actual testing, it was closer to a 66% increase. That's why you see the 40 and 42 numbers. The 40 would be a 60% increase, the 42 would be a 66% increase. Then that would carry on to the 80 and the 40, so just a little full disclosure there. I like to provide practical data, so these numbers are really just meant to give you an idea or a range so that you know how to get the most out of this dino in certain situations. This is what the damage difference actually looks like, which to me is a little more helpful to know about what you can expect specifically. I am using a 505% melee Megaraptor with no imprints. The base or the lowest damage output you would do is when you have another Megaraptor nearby and you are hunting dinos who are not isolated. Damage output would be 126. Then, if you are hunting with no other Megaraptors nearby, but the enemies are still grouped up, damage output would be 210. And finally, if you are hunting solo and attacking solo enemies, damage output would be 421, and that would be the highest. The Claw Finisher is the secondary attack. It's done by pressing R, but only after 2 consecutive primary attacks. It works like a combo. The attacks have to be consecutive, otherwise it will not let you press R. It has a base damage of 30. For a 500% melee, it does around 506 damage. And it causes bleed, which of course reduces the 5% of the target's total HP over 10 seconds. The pounce attack can be performed mid-air by pressing C. There's a cursor that shows up to show your target, and it has a base damage of 35. With 500% melee, that's around 590. This has a short stun with small creatures. It's supposed to be 5 seconds, but it seems a lot shorter than that. It does not stun larger dinos, but it still does significant AoE damage, and it has a 20-second cooldown timer. If you land a kill, it also seems to have an instant reset on the pounce cooldown. There is a double jump, which you just have to press space while in the air. Hunt mode allows you to track a singular enemy. You hold down right click and select the target with left click. Once the target is selected, it will highlight them and show you their distance. It also gives you a speed boost of 20%, but only while running toward your target. The outline and the icon both show approximate health, with green to yellow to red being near death. The camo reduces aggro from wild dinos. You can activate it by holding right click and then pressing C. The crosshairs show a stealth icon showing how aware the wild dino is of you. When that green bar fills all the way up, you're no longer invisible, but the dino still has to be facing you. It's not like most stealth meters where once it's full, you've been alerted. You can kind of go back and forth and continue to manage that meter if you're trying to be sneaky. It has a 10-second cooldown and brings you out of camo if you attack. And of course you can strafe, side-to-side movement. You can do this with attacks and with sprinting just by holding left or right. This ability gives you bonus armor after a kill. The number shown is an exact number of damage that you will be protected from on your next hit that you take. For example, this Rex is doing 21 damage to me. I killed this Prosoptodon, got 11 shield, and the next Rex attack did 11. And again, with only 10 protection, it now does 12 damage. So it appears once it drops down to 1, it goes away, but otherwise it's giving you the exact number of damage protection that it's showing. If the hit is less, it will only take off however much you are hit for. Over time, this will drop by itself. The larger the creature you kill, the more protection you get, and it does have a cap. The shield is also shown visually. The colorful layer will break away when the shield is gone. Solitary Hunter. When there are no other Megaraptors nearby, you will receive a 60% damage increase, bringing your base damage up from 25 to 40. It also gives increased damage resistance of 33%. The Megaraptor does not have a mate boost. Keep in mind, a Megaraptor corpse will prevent you from receiving that 60% damage increase, so make sure to clear the Megaraptor bodies to get your full damage. The Megaraptor doubles the damage against alone creatures without any company around it, approximately a distance of 15 meters. This does not have to be dinos of the same type. Any two creatures within 15 meters of each other will affect this buff. Corpses do not affect this, however, unlike with Solitary Hunter. All right, and that brings us to locations. So as far as locations go, you can usually find them around here. This is the Ark Unity map, by the way. This info wasn't yet available on the Ark Wiki, but I found that Unity to be pretty reliable. I have flown around to check these areas in single player, and I spotted Megaraptors at these locations. However, not very many seem to spawn at once for me. So, as always, a gene scanner is still going to be your best option. All right, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and if you want more Ark Guides, be sure to like this one, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. See you on the next one.